favorite topics for our conversation today.
I like Barbara's topic.
Remind me of it.
Barbara, take it.
Just what called us to
Yeah.
be doing this. Not just with the Enlighten Network, but you
The
know,
work that we
the
do.
work that we do.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right, let's talk about
We can
that.
try it.
Let's 30
It
minutes.
seems
starts
serious
out,
compared
20
to
or
the other
30.
one,
Yeah.
which was
Maybe.
shoulda, coulda, or something. I should have,
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Jen
It
M, what
seems
was your
comical.
actual
It was a
statement?
Jennifer M.
Yeah.
Right.
The shoulda.
It was shedding the should.
Shedding the should. That's a good topic for, or maybe that is your why for doing this work too.
Yeah.
Right. To shed. But yeah, so that's a good one, Barbara. Everyone good with going with that flow?
I'm good.
Whew, it's a big topic.
Yeah, it's a heavy topic. It's a big topic.
Ask it again, Barbara.
That one.
What our calling is, I'm not sure how to articulate it, but you know, how did we get into the work that we're doing, the service that we're providing, because we are providing a service.
Right.
So how we got into it, what drew us to it, what made us think, I think I have something to share.
I know mine started with the idea that I was helping people, which is funny. And that I stuck with that one for a long time, and that led me along the path to learn many things, like knowledge wise, to take, to get different degrees and get different certifications, and to even start teaching and offering different things. And then at some point, which I mean, like that was there all along as well, but at some point I really started to see the switcheroo to who am I helping, right? Like I'm helping myself, and then I'm just sharing that with other people. And maybe still, I think the hope that it inspires others to explore their own path and themselves. And it just kind of keeps evolving. So now it's evolved to more creativity. As I've mentioned a few times in my room in the Enlighten Network, I'm working to, and it's definitely a work in progress, to just express creatively the things that have inspired me, again, with the hope that it inspires creativity in others, because I'm finding that creativity is, for me, the ultimate freedom. So it's been an evolutionary process, I would say.
And will continue to be.
Yeah.
I imagine, right? It doesn't ever stop.
No, right.
I think for me, it's been about the ideas that when I was really felt like I was stuck in the mud, and then starting to share and listen to others' stories about the coming out of the mud, and that concept of how we all got there. Like I love listening to the stories of our own personal journeys of those of us that we have now surrounded ourselves with, and finding that for me, once I came out of that darker spot and started to look inward, that how much joy that being in the moment really is. And that for me, as I watch others stuck in the mud and suffering, you want to share that coming out of, and how that really truly does help people be in it less. Like I felt like I was in it for a longer time than necessary. And whenever I was ready to come out, it just, I don't ever go back and look at, oh, I wasted a lot of time, because I've done so much internal growth and learning about myself. But I just know that if I had met or had a conversation with somebody sooner, I would have just not been relishing in this darker spot within myself, because it really was all inward. Like it was just inner darkness of, somewhat, and I hate to use, I don't even want to use the word. So I just felt like I stayed in places longer than necessary without seeing the joy in the moments. And so when I see like women my age going through tough stuff, I'm like, whoa, let's talk about it. How can we get you to see how beautiful this is? So that's really why I'm here. For myself to continue, as Barbara said, this incredible journey, but to share and give. Yet again, you're receiving, right? You're getting that same gift back in so many ways. That, from what it is.
That reminds me a little bit of my own journey about darkness. When you speak of darkness, there was the worst time where I was surrounded by so much love that all I saw was darkness. I couldn't see the love. Like I would get little glimpses of it, but then I'd go right back into that dark place. And I guess for me, it was more of finding myself. So she talked on the video, our class, about truth seekers. And I looked at you, you didn't catch my energy, but I was like, truth seekers, that's what I feel like is the Enlighten Network is about. So for me personally, it was rediscovering who I am out of that darkness, but also being in places at times where I'm like, when are things going to shift? Which I felt like they were years, right, before things started to shift again. So anyway, for me, it was more about a personal journey to know myself and to be my authentic self and to heal from that darkness and realizing that there are other people that are struggling with something very similar. And that if I can move through this storm, anybody can move through this storm. And I can show them a way. That doesn't mean that they have to take that route. But I know I keep going back to these words because they resonate so strongly with me, is becoming that living example or that living invitation of how someone can heal their own life. And I do believe that we're here to help each other. We're here to be of service in whatever way resonates with the truth of who we are, which brings me back to the truth seeker.
Yeah.
What is my personal truth? So I could totally resonate with that darkness that you were talking about.
And I feel like we all are doing it. It happens to every single one of us that our lives are so much the same in so many stages of our lives in some way. And then some of us got stuck in that darkness longer, others don't. And I want people to spend a lot less time there, because I feel like our lives have all kind of done something very similar. Different yet similar, right? Because it's our own journey, but there are true similarities of lives.
I think too, it's cool, the similarity that, from going through these different things. I know for me, it was like, there's got to be more, right, than this hard shit. Like, there's got to be more. There's got to be a reason. That still is part of the mystery, but I understand that it's part of the learning, the spiritual school process. But that was from just such a young age, and trauma from a young age. I was always like, there's got to be more, right? Like, there just has to be. And that's I think the natural truth seeker archetype that we probably all share. Anyway, so thanks.
Can I just say one other thing about what you were talking about that I picked up, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that you kind of wish that you hadn't stayed in something so long. And I believe that we all need to be in whatever the hell mess and mud that we're in for the time that we're in it. And sometimes we look back and wish, oh, I didn't have to go through that. I wish I could have gone through that faster or quicker. But we're in it for the time we need to be in it for our own personal growth and evolution.
The struggle is it.
It
Yeah.
is.
It's all about the struggle.
Right.
And I think too, maybe what you were saying is that you wish that you had that light
Yeah.
that you
The tool.
are desiring to be, right? If there were those little lights along the path, then maybe we could have walked on a path and not so far off. And
Yeah.
then
Well, I
back.
always
And I think we're supposed to go.
Yeah,
that
of
far.
course, of
yeah,
course.
and I feel like we all live the same life, and I'm gonna give it in a very simplistic way, and I'm not gonna recite it verse by verse, but I think it's like the 5 chapters of the autobiography of life, and it's about like the first chapter I see a hole, I fall into it. The second chapter, I see the hole, I know it's there, I still fall into it. The third chapter is, I know there's a hole, I still fall in, and yet I get out a lot quicker. The fourth chapter is, I know there's a hole, and I walk around it. And it's something about down a street. The fifth chapter is, I take a whole new different street. So we're all doing the same things.
Yeah. the
Right, but
same
some
thing.
of us stay in chapter 3 a hell of a long time, and sometimes it's because of our own detriment,
Choices.
our own choices, our own, like, we continue to want to make the same choice instead of just being like, that choice doesn't work for us.
Right.
So that's the part I think I wish I stayed out of, or I got out quicker. And that's where I want people to get out of quicker.
Yeah.
Climb out of that hole and go to chapter 5 way quicker.
Right.
So the story of my life.
Just you need to write a book and it starts on chapter 5. so
Right.
it's no chapter.
Gosh, that would be amazing. Then we all wouldn't get here at some point in our lives.
Zoom
I can
people.
go next. I'll go next. Yeah. So a lot of what everyone's saying is resonating. It sounds beautiful. And I feel like what's coming up for me is um, I feel deeply the programming we all had growing up in this world. And I'm more in a stage of unlearning the ways that I've been traveling through the world. And that, yes, I'm a truth seeker. And growing up in a family that I grew up in, I was very aware at a very young age that there was some really crazy shit going on. And I'd be like, does anyone else see this? Um, so gaslit my whole life. And the fact that, now I feel like as a collective, just the fact that there's a space like this, that we are able to speak our truths. And it's a beautiful thing. So I feel like every time I speak my truth, I invite someone else to do the same. And that's the space where I'm coming from. I do have to be very careful. So I am codependent and want to fix everybody. And a lot of the things I'm doing in the world, I feel like I want it to come across not like I'm trying to fix people. It's more that I'm just showing people how I came out and from my dark night of the soul. And it's an offering, right? It's like whoever it resonates with is fine. And I do get very frustrated when I see people struggling and not opting for that path. But that's my lesson, is to just stay in my path and stay in alignment with what speaks to me. And if people want to come into my energy field, come on over. But I'm not about, I guess, chasing it down anymore. I think at the beginning I was chasing it down. I remember I was like, God, I wish I knew this when I was a teenager. And God, I wish I knew what this one, I wish I knew. And then it's just like Shauna said, it's like you're in it for as long as you're supposed to be in it, because that's your lesson. That's what you're here for. So um yeah, so I guess my why is I feel like I have a voice, and I found it, and my voice was obviously, as a kid, like you had to keep your voice down because you needed to survive in the crazy. But now that I don't need that to survive anymore, it's like just using this voice more feels really, um, really powerful, and the timing is just what it is. That's all I have.
Great. Thank you.
Love it.
What jokingly came to mind actually listening to all of us is we don't need to threaten people into damnation to get them to want to learn about themselves. Sorry, a little dark, but
Well, this
the
past
light
weekend,
side. Yeah.
this past weekend, I attended an event out in Sedona, and one of the biggest messages, I already knew it, but it was kind of a reminder, especially from a teacher point of view, or a living invitation point of view, is that we can offer somebody something when synchronistically it becomes available, right? So here we are, we're in the Enlighten network, we have these things that we're offering, but what other people do with it is none of our business.
Mm.
That's the biggest thing, because I know for me, sometimes I get caught up in the, you need to know this, like, this needs to be a practice for you. No, I'm just introducing it to you. And what you do with it is totally up to you. You can meet my vibration, or you can choose not to meet my vibration.
Planting a
And
seed.
exactly. And so I think
Planting a
that's,
seed.
Mary Beth, what you said, I feel that little bit of a struggle of, oh my God, you need to know this. This will change your life. To, here is what I am. Here is how I live. And oh, do you want to do something with this? Great. Well, I can show you a way. You need to take the steps.
And even vice versa, right? Like we detach after the teachings because some
Right.
people look to teachers like, am I doing it right? Or what's next? Or how can I be more like you? And no,
Don't be.
right? Yeah.
Please don't be like me.
Resist that temptation.
You will be disappointed,
Run.
I promise. Let me be me and you be you, right? So it works on both ends.
No codependency
Yes,
here.
yes, yes.
Done. Barbara, Crystal.
I'll go last. Because I posed this for a reason.
Okay, I see.
Crystal?
You know, yeah, the why.
The why or the what?
What?
The what? Yeah, I'm slowly having new realizations of this process and this path. And kind of to what Jen just said, you know, how can I be this, right? Or, you know, you see these teachers and you want to share as such. And for a long time, felt that that was like the purpose. And through some of the harder life moments that I have expanded from, I thought I wanted to teach it in a way of teaching it. And now I just want to radiate it. And I'm witnessing just through me fully being me and presenting it, not presenting it, just being and living through it. I'm watching it radiate around me. And the impact it's having on my life, along with I don't know. There's an excitement. I guess I got lost in that. Sorry. um, I just want to be the change I want to see in the world. And so I'm done trying to show up to try to be that, and kind of just surrendering and watching that happen. The changes that are happening within me. I don't know. I don't know. I just,
The word that's coming to mind when you're talking, Crystal, is magnet. Like as you continue to be, it's almost like you're magnetizing that energy into your life.
And I feel like you're literally living it right now and allowing us to share it and be part of that journey, where some of us have already lived some of it, and that's what we're sharing. But at least that's my experience with you, is you've just stepped into this and you're just now trying it out and living it, and we get to be witness right alongside you. And it's pretty amazing.
It's like it's kind of what
Amazing.
Nicole wishes that she had, like the simultaneous situation, right?
Yeah. Yep. Getting through that
Yeah.
darkness, and like you said, like you used to wipe the tears away and not want them to come, and now they just get to come, and they just are, right? Like that's such a in itself just an amazing transformation.
the surrendering.
It's just an incredible thing to witness, and the magnet piece just resonates because it's exactly how I feel others are going to just kind of go into that and see this in real time.
In real time, yeah.
And it's just crazy and awesome.
Well, because
Crazy
it's so
is the right word, but-
vulnerable, it's so real, it's so raw,
Yeah.
and you're putting it out there. So that others, you're kind of like a role model in the moment,
Right.
right? Teaching others to be able to be that vulnerable, raw, and to share it as they go along the trajectory.
Yeah.
So it's pretty amazing. And thank you for it, for the courage, because it's pretty.
Yeah,
cool.
no, it's
Thank
it's
you.
so fun. I'm just, Shauna, you and curiosity, you like just, like, I know it took me a while to grasp it. And I know that there were times where you'd want to say, Crystal, but like, I was there, right? Although I wasn't, I was, and it has like, yeah, the questions, the good questions, the right questions are the ones that are now vibrant and winning. How about that? Winning. Yeah.
Winning questions. I like it. Thank you.
I think I'm second to last. Is that how this is?
Circular, that's all.
I love listening to everyone first. I don't know why Barbara does, but I just love being able to just kind of, it actually aligns with what I'm going to say. It's sharing. So I struggle with the word service. Like when I think the question posed was what brought you to or inspired you to be of service. And yeah, I understand that we are offering a service because there's like a transaction happening, a monetary one, in some way, shape, or form, no matter wherever you're doing this work or however you're doing this work. But instead of being of service, I like to think of it as like of sharing. And it just really does align with what everyone said and what Barbara just said too, which is like some of us have already been through so many things, and to have the privilege of seeing others be brave enough to not go at it alone when most of us did go at it alone is a reason why I'm here. And because for so long, I thought I was the only one who felt this way, or the only one who felt that way, or the only one who did this, or the only one, whatever. And then it turns out that's not true. There's so many people, and kind of what Crystal was saying about being more in her own character, in her own self. Yeah, like it does attract the right people and the right things. And that's what's so important is, well, let me back up from it. That's why I like the space that I have, the archetypal alchemy, because it turns out we all have all these parts in us. Like we all have like the lover, the hero, the truth seeker. Like we all have all of that. And I'm here. I think my purpose of being here is to hear those stories and be able to be like, oh yeah, and that's just like Cinderella, or that's just like Beauty and the Beast or whatever. So there's like some comfort in knowing that you're not alone and that there are so many others who resonate. Yes, your journey is super, super singular and personal to you. But it's amazing to me. And I want to share that, how amazing it is. Like this thought of like, it's not just the collective unconscious. I think it's the collective conscious, the collective subconscious, the collective unconscious. Like we often separate those three, but they all are working together, just like the little parts in us anyway. So that was one of the things. And then someone said something about tools and vibrations, and I had written down, I'm here to help share like the tools to help calibrate your vibrations. I think it was you, Shauna.
Like
I don't
that.
necessarily need to be on like the vibration that I'm on, but I have like some tools or ideas of how you might be able to get on a vibration that works for you. That's why I'm here.
Thanks, Jen.
One of the other messages that came from the event that I was at this weekend was, we all have a gift to share, to be of service in some way. And that there are people out there looking for it. And if we don't do these things that we feel we want to do, offer the things we want to offer, we're in a way being selfish, because there are
Yes.
out there that are waiting for us to bring what we're bringing to the Enlighten network. Right?
Yeah.
So we got to do it. And I'm not saying we're not doing it. I'm just saying it was just another reminder of, wait a minute, I do have a lot to offer. I do have a lot to share. And there are people that are waiting to be introduced to the Enlighten network and to take, not advantage, but to
Yeah.
embrace
take
all
advantage.
of what we are offering.
Please do. No.
Please take advantage. That could be the tagline.
One of the
Take
things-
advantage of
Yeah,
us.
take advantage of it.
And one of the things that I think is kind of great in hearing it in different ways is started off in our class earlier, that unlearning piece, right?
Mhm.
And then Mary Beth just said, when you got to a point of unlearning, and all I envision is this saying that I have is, take all the tools in your toolbox and shake it out and let's rebuild the toolbox, you know, of like new ways in which I can fill it up that work for me, and that may work for you, right? So it's like, oh, this may work. And so that's something that, you know, Jen M was just saying, was that, you know, that vibrational and the tools, like, I don't want you to be here where I am, and your toolbox shouldn't look just like mine, but there are some things in there that may resonate with any one of us. And
Yeah.
I can take tools from all of you and add them in, and it's overflowing of awesome.
Without
awesomeness.
having to invent the wheel.
Without having
yourself. Yeah,
exactly.
right? Without
Well,
having
and
to
that's
invent
the
the
other
wheel
piece.
yourself.
There is no reason to reinvent the wheel. It's all
I don't
here.
even, we can't.
There's
Anyway.
no,
No.
There's no,
No.
it's there.
it's already there.
We're just tapping into the wheel,
Yep.
and giving it a little turn, but
Yeah.
I think even so, what I've noticed lately, I said this in my video that I posted the other day, last week on September 11th. I have started to listen to a little bit here and there of everyone within the Enlighten network, and every time I do, I'm like feeling honored to be able to hear those words, honored to share the space, grateful that we're doing this together. Like this deep sense of what Shauna just said, that, you know, what we're offering is really pure and authentic. And I'm learning, you know, just hearing everyone's words, the different offerings. I'm learning from each of you. And that for me, that's a little bit new, because I think I said in the video, I'm picky of who I learn things from. And I love that there's this group that I get to spend time with, that I also, we're just so all like-minded. The fact that, you know, that we enjoy listening to each other and learning from each other, that's like a gift in and of itself. So that, magnify that, and that's exactly what you were saying. It's like the Enlighten network now, it can blanket the globe.
I love that. Blanket the globe.
And
So quick share to the Jen's comment, or no, there was a comment about relearning. Mary Beth, unlearning. So I've been obviously asking the questions through meditation process, and a lot, about my path and where I'm at. And I just wanted to share that yesterday after sitting in meditation. Of course, after sometimes, you then go to your phone, and I picked up my phone, and the first thing I opened was to Maharaji. And it was, if you want to put fresh milk in a cup, you must wash the cup first. This path is a path of cleaning the cup of our own hearts to hold the nectar of love. So it just start where you are, right? I don't know. It was another reminder of the emptying out to fill back up and give what you are filling up with.
I love that.
You know. So the reason I was hoping at some point in time this could be a topic, it's a little self-serving for me. So I'm very curious about everybody's image of themselves and how, why, or what they felt they could share, and almost a responsibility to put out there to other people that are looking for it. Because so the first time we met, it was a little different group, but some of us are the same. And when we got to me, my question was, what am I doing here? Like, how am I with this group of people? No credentials, no certifications. I teach yoga, and then I'm busy being Barbara in my life, sharing my truths, my vulnerabilities, but really it doesn't feel like anything special, not anything special, anything that people really are looking for. And yet, without even realizing it, people come up to me after yoga class and express a reading that I read, a word that I shared. There's this line of literally a hug line when I'm done teaching yoga that touches me so deeply. And so there, I guess, is some of my answers, and that is not in a comparison way, but I do feel like I'm with giants and I'm just this little teeny speck down here thinking, how am I with this group? And I felt like that 6 months ago or longer, and I still feel like that. So sometimes I feel like I'm a little bit of an imposter. I just being totally vulnerable. When I listen to and I watch the videos and everything everybody else has to offer, and I teach yoga and some mindfulness on Wednesdays. That's about it.
I feel like, I know I can relate to what you're saying. And if everybody doesn't relate in some way, then maybe we have a problem. But I feel like, that's our, I think, human.
Well, we've got,
humanness.
you've got all these Reiki, massage. I don't even know what all your certifications are. You're a NICU nurse. Mary Beth, you have all this amazing and all great, Crystal, all the truths that you've gone through. Jennifer, your archetypal, which I can never say right? And again, there I am just teaching yoga.
So what brought you to yoga? What brought you to?
Well, what brought me to yoga was I'm a lot, and I was a lot for myself. And in terms of a lot, always questioning something I said or did, lots of insecurity, one of 8 Italian, Irish, Catholic kids, beautiful upbringing though, honestly, and I'm 6 of 8. And so I think within that family structure, there's always going to be competition and struggles, and especially since it was 2 boys and 6 girls. So being with those 6 girls was always, and I just thought, I need to settle the F down. And so I thought I'd try yoga. And this is actually me on yoga. I always say kiddingly, and it did. And I went along from 2003 till I bought my studio in 2009 and practiced yoga regularly and some meditation. And I had my studio, and that's really where the magic for me began. learning to help people step into themselves, their true selves. But still didn't feel like I'd open the door, come on in, introduce them to any other people, but still didn't feel like a true vessel or vehicle for anybody to think, other than what they could do. And then I sold the studio and I didn't do anything for a little while. I didn't teach yoga. I didn't teach meditation. I had home practices.
So you just worked full time.
Well, I did work.
I know, I'm like,
I did. All of that aside, and a lot of that has, certainly shaped this person vulnerably sitting in front of you today. But one day I was home meditating after I'd done a home practice, and I just thought, I think I should be sharing this. I think all these years later, maybe, and I have sort of thought at the back of my mind, not so much is there more, but I feel like I'm here for a reason other than what I've done my whole life. And so some days I walk away from it and I'm like, yeah.
And we just happen to scoop
And
you
that-
up and
And yeah, well, and really stepping into joy, true joy and the business joy has helped to cultivate that more deeply and given me a voice and a direction for it, I guess.
yeah.
But I still, I still have moments when I'm listening to the videos within the Enlighten network and I just think, I feel like I should be doing more, but that will probably always be me. So that's why I wanted to go last. That's why I asked the question. I was curious
Yeah.
about, what called you all to. Not so much the why of it, though that is a big part of it, but the what of it.
So what called
The
you?
what called you to it and gave you a voice loud enough, respectfully, that you thought people would want to hear it, would want to learn more. And what beautiful stories. I mean, I still goosebumps and am honored to be in the presence of all of you. And I did have somebody I was sharing a similar story with on Saturday, actually, right before I left the studio. And we'd been sharing this story during the week. And she came up to me and said, don't ever question yourself.
Right.
Stop, stop, stop.
Well, and I'm taking from your story, right? What you said, coming from your big family, and you said you wanted to settle the F down, which is funny because I just texted you that a couple of weeks ago about myself.
You did.
Now I know how much you related to that. Anyway, and I feel like you have learned to become the witness, which is huge. So just
Huge.
being your literal being, your presence is an offering.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like what's so special?
You.
Yeah.
And that's very awakening, like to be the witness and to not hold back how I see myself, because
That's
Right.
like such a piece of, all right, the law of true potentiality, like where I keep saying I need to like just keep revisiting it because witnessing mode is like, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm never getting there, buddy. Let's just go on to law number 2. And Barbara, there you go.
Yeah.
Like that's what you offer.
my daughter-in-law, about 6 months ago, we were talking about something and I was sharing how I'd acted in certain situations with certain family members, and I could be I could be insecure and then that turns into being awkward and then I'd be like at arm's length. And I had said to her a few months ago, look at all the time I wasted being like that. And she said, or all the lessons you had to learn to get
All
to
the list.
realization.
Yeah.
It's like you was
Yeah.
staying stuck too long. She was saying all of that had to happen.
Yes.
You had to act like that.
Yes.
You had to tap into the struggle of insecurities within this unit to come out, and I really have moved beyond that. There'll be more, of course, but that particular struggle of insecurity. And now I don't, like if I'm with that particular mix of people, I have to meditate first. It's still a trigger for me, but what I've realized, it's my trigger.
Yeah.
It's not their trigger. They love, believe it or not, to be around me. And I'm like, really? Because I'm such an asshole when I'm with you. Why would you want to be with me? Or I can be, with that particular mix of,
Mm.
I
and
hear that.
then I realize it's always us, right? Ram Dass, Mahara, it's always us.
Well, and I think the more awareness you have, the more you pick up on, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like it never
Especially when it
ends.
comes to family,
Yeah.
that's
Family. Oof.
that work within family. Is
Yeah,
like,
and being with
yeah.
family and
How many of us
family
choose
members.
not to do that?
Yeah, I guess I have a choice, but I don't really feel like I have a choice other than to do the work, and to try to have the best impact when I'm with them as I can.
Yeah.
And I would say so many times I fail. Like, this is gonna be the time. I'm gonna be with them and it's gonna be awesome. And I go home, I'm
all
like,
going to
fuck.
be enlightened, right?
I go home with my head, oh my God, I did it again.
Oh.
I lasted on 10 minutes. So eventually I'll get there. But that's why, and thank you all. That's
Yeah.
why I wanted to go last, because I still have those moments of, who the hell am I to be in this enlightenment network?
Mhm.
Sometimes who am I to be in front of a class teaching?
And I'm going to say, who are you not to?
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. Thank you, Mary Beth.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Yep.
And I think that we can all relate to what you said, and we still
Show up.
move forward
Yeah.
because we know better. All right, we're gonna wrap this one up. So thank you everyone for being here. And next Tuesday we'll have our regular meeting. And yeah, keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on. Thank you all.
Thank
Everyone.
you.
Friends, love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.